Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Tori and today we are working in my December Daily 2024 album on story number 13. So I have a huge bag here that I've been just holding all of my upcoming stories in. So there's quite a few more here than the one that we will be working on today, but this is basically just where I have been storing everything while I'm not actively working on it. For this story, we are going to be talking about our visit to go see Santa Claus, and we basically just go see him at our local Bass Pro Shop and get the free photo that they give you while you're there. We took a photo while we were waiting in line. This actually ended up being like a 2 hour long wait because they were having technical difficulties. So while we were waiting, I did take a couple of photos, and we also usually walk around the store and look at the Christmas decorations that they have up. And that is going to be the other two photos that I just shared there. I actually don't mess with those smaller 3x4 photos in this video, but I essentially took them and placed them in a 3x4 page protector pocket, just the one that has two pockets, after the video was over because I set them aside and completely forgot about them. We are going to be working on the back of story number 12, which was my light drive, and this one is actually a just complete 6 inches. So I'm going to make sure that I cut my photo down to be the 6 inches exactly. That way it will fit perfectly on the back of that story. My original plan with this particular page was to place a piece of paper behind my photo. I'm essentially going to turn my photo into a pocket, and you'll see kind of how that looks here a little bit. I'm just going to dry fit things out and see how I like it. I end up changing my mind and not using this red paper behind my photo. I just felt like it was a little bit too much. And I also really liked the sentiment that was on it. So I'm going to change my mind and pull out a different paper to basically layer my photo on top of and to be kind of the background of my pocket. I'm going to use the photo of us with Santa and the journaling that I printed out on photo paper as well. That's going to go inside this pocket essentially. And what I did for my journaling is I had just opened up a piece of like patterned paper in Procreate, and I just typed out all of my journaling in Procreate and hand lettered the word Santa up at the very top. And I'm going to ideally have that Santa hand lettering just pop out of the top of my pocket. That way it'll be kind of a little title for this page as well. I pulled out this diagonal red stripe paper from, I think this was from the December Stories by the Month kit from 2023, and I never ended up using it, but I really, really liked the way that this looked with our family photo that I took while we were waiting in line, and I'm going to 100% go with this because like I said, I really like the way everything is looking together. So that's where I set those two 3x4 photos aside and completely forget about them. But I am also going to decide that I want to add a tab to my 4x6 photos just so that I have something that I can easily pull them out of the pocket with. And then I will start getting everything adhered down. I originally thought that this page was going to take me a lot longer to put together, so decided I would make it its own video, but it actually came together quite quickly, probably because I'm just using mainly a full page photo and um, making a pocket again. I feel like I'm very much in my pocket era in this particular December Daily album because I have made a pocket on so many of the pages that I've put together so far this year. I'm not mad at it though because I love pockets. So to make this a pocket, I'm only going to be putting adhesive on 3 sides of my photo, and then I'm going to also put a little bit of adhesive on that patterned paper because I don't want the photos to be falling down too far in this pocket because then I won't be able to get them back out. I also just realized here that I had put red line tape on this piece of yarn, and I didn't take off the first backer for that, but when I noticed it on the bottom part, I did make sure to take it off there. Not taking off the backer is not really going to do anything, but I figured if I had it there, I might as well take it off if I noticed it, you know? For the journaling photo that I did, there is 2 blank spaces at the top and the bottom of that photo. I had quite the dilemma when it came to these blank spaces. I originally thought I would just trim everything down, but then I decided I didn't want to cut too far into my Santa photo. So what I'm going to decide to do to resolve those blank spaces is just grab some of the washi tape that I really like. I got this grid washi tape from Wintertime Crafts on Etsy. I'm going to use that washi tape, and I'm going to just cover up those white spots on my journaling card or my journaling photo essentially, and just cover those up with this grid washi tape. And this is like a distressed grid washi tape, which is one of the reasons that I really, really like it. So I am going to use that and just cover up those white spots there at the bottom. And then I will adhere my 2 pages or my 2 photos back to back here and get the tab added as well. And I will use my scoreboard. Oh, I forgot what it was called for a minute. I will use my scoreboard when I'm adhering these 2 photos back to back, because my 4x6 photo that I printed out is actually a little bit bigger, I think, than the 4x6 photo that I got from Bass Pro Shop, which I thought was interesting. So I am going to use my scoreboard to get them as flush as possible, at least along 2 of the edges, and then I will pull out my scissors and just kind of trim the other 2 edges down so that everything matches as close to perfect as possible, so that there's just no random white areas hanging off the edge, essentially. I probably use my scoreboard more for just this technique than I do for actually scoring paper, but it is one of my favorite techniques for making sure I get everything lined up as good as I possibly can. I did mess it up here a little bit this first go around, so I did redo that, or I will redo that right now. Thankfully, the tape runner that I'm using, the Kukio, I can't remember how the letters go, but I always have that linked down in my description box below. It's my favorite tape runner, and it's when you first place it down, it's temporarily adhesive, and then you have the ability to pull things back up before it becomes a little bit more permanent. And I really, really love having that ability because then I can just pull things back up and retape them down if I needed to, which is what I did just right here. And then I'm trimming off the excess of my actual at home printed 4x6 photo. I did make sure that I wasn't going to be cutting into any of my words. If that was going to happen, I probably wouldn't have trimmed it at all and just kind of dealt with it. But thankfully, I did leave a little bit of buffer space on either side of my words. So here's how my pocket is looking. I'm going to go ahead and pull apart the 2 photos just a little bit. No, actually, I don't do that. I will put the tab over top of the 2 photos and then staple them together with my tiny attacher just to kind of fully adhere this tab sticker on. In my experience, eventually they'll start to kind of separate. So I like adding that little bit of extra stability by stapling these tabs on just in case the sides do start pulling up. It's not going to detach from whatever I have it stuck to. So we're pretty much almost done here. I do just need to add a story number. And I'm going to pull out some stickers that I've had for a while. Most of these I think are December Daily stickers, but I don't even end up using those. I used one that I got in like a grab bag from the Paper Person shop. And I'm going to pull off just a circle sticker that I will stick my number 13 in. And I'm again using the puffy numbers from the December Daily release from this year. I really, really love these numbers, and I have been thoroughly enjoying having so many of each number and not having to worry about running out of like a 2 or a 1 or something like that. So I'm getting my 13 placed down in this circle, and then the last thing that I will do is I'm going to kind of test out some of these circle chipboard pieces throughout my page as well to see if I want to stick anything down. I'll try out a few of them, but I will not end up using most of them. I'm going to pull off a tiny circle that says wish list, and I thought that that was fitting since we were going to see Santa and the kids each told him something that they wanted for Christmas and blah blah blah. So I'll try out a few, but end up ultimately going with the tiniest little circle that I have on this chipboard sheet that says wish list. I'm going to place that on my photo. I'm going to overlap it with the circle that I have my 13 on. And I'm going to place it down and then pull it back up. And the reason that I did that is because this chipboard is super, super thick, like almost too thick for my personal liking. So I pulled it back up and just ripped it in half, kind of. I pulled off most of the layers of the chipboard, and I will just use my Barely Arts glue to then adhere that onto my page. I put way too much glue on here, like way, way too much, because I had so much seep out underneath it. So I'll spend a minute or so kind of getting some of that glue up because like I said, I just put way too much. So I'm just using my tweezers to kind of rub along the outside of that chipboard to get some of that adhesive off of other parts of my spread. It does dry clear, but if I can help it and avoid having like a clear lump on my page, I'm going to pull off some of that as well. And since I did use liquid glue, it did give me the opportunity to straighten that chipboard piece a little bit. And that's it. That's all I have for this spread. I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye!